It's time for something different. In my last video, I flew from LaGuardia Airport in New York City to Miami, Florida, and I gave an in-depth look at the flight from start to finish. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. I love sharing these kinds of videos with you, but I want to show you what I did after I arrived in Miami. I'm going on a 7-night cruise to the Caribbean aboard the MSC SEASHORE, and you're coming along with me, and I'm going to show you everything my style. This means that I'm not just going to focus on the luxuries of a cruise ship, but I'll focus a lot on things like where we are and our route. This is Cruising Peter Masella style. After a great flight yesterday, I spent the night in Miami in advance of today's departure. I love Miami. With year-long warm weather, it's one of my favorite cities in the USA. It's a dense place with 61 skyscrapers over 500 feet, yet it still has a tropical vibe to it. And it's a nautical community. There are numerous waterways for boating around here, and soon I'll be afloat on one of the largest vessels in the area. Miami is truly an international city, and for the first time on my channel, I'm going international. So let's head over in a lift to the port of Miami. My cabin on the MSC SEASHORE will be in the ship's exclusive Yacht Club, a private ship within a ship, and that means I get to check in a dedicated check-in area. Part of the Yacht Club experience, we get to bypass the long line. Special treatment here going on to the MSC cruise ship. But first, the COVID test. Even after providing proof of vaccine and a negative result from 2 days prior, MSC plays it safe. The Yacht Club experience has a dedicated waiting area, and the white glove service starts before boarding. Here I am away from the crowds and being offered complimentary food and drink, and the wait was hardly a wait at all. The greatest period of waiting time was the time it took to get the COVID test results, a mere 15 minutes. Then it was a quick walk to the boarding door of this magnificent ship, where I quickly made my way to my cabin. My large stateroom in the Yacht Club was, well, exactly that, large. With a private sitting area and balcony, it didn't have the standard compact cruise ship cabin feel. This is going to be a great place to spend a week at sea. But since boarding was around midday, it was time for lunch. And for lunch, I went to the upper deck of the Yacht Club for an amazing buffet away from the masses on board. I went for one of my favorite dishes, farfalle al pesto.
Delle belle turbando in riposo, narcisette mattuccino d'amor.
This journey is going to have lots of food in it. Yes, lots. And it's all paid for in advance. What a glorious day here in Miami, and what an exclusive experience this Yacht Club pool area is. It's so private, and during the time of this filming, the ship was only around half capacity, so that meant I could choose practically any seat I wanted to soak up the sun. This is going to be a very relaxing cruise. Check out this amazing space. It's so private. Since my cabin is on the starboard or right side of the ship, I'm able to get a view all the way around up here, and I'm especially interested in seeing how we're going to begin our Caribbean journey this evening. A look forward shows the way out, and that's the direction that our bow is facing. With the MacArthur Causeway on one side and the ship's docks on the other, we'll need to maneuver in this channel for some time before we're at sea. It's a privilege for the Yacht Club members to have this forward-looking view, and if you go down to the main dining area, you can also see forward. This is a rare and very special perspective from a very special place. The Yacht Club's restaurant and its exclusive top sail lounge just below it are at the head of the ship, and the environment is stunning. Great views are only part of it. The food is great, and there are so many seating options available. I'll show you more of the interior later. I'm gonna head to my cabin now. We're starting our trip in sunny Miami, Florida, where I've just boarded. Beautiful, beautiful day here, and we're getting ready to experience some of the best that the Caribbean has to offer on board one of the best ships out there. We're preparing for departure, but before we do so, while I'm looking up at the Scandinavian A350 from Miami to Stockholm flying above, the ship's crew prepared us for the muster drill, an important safety drill prior to departure. Much of the safety demo was conducted in the cabin on the TV screen. That helped avoid the crowds. Only after it was completed did we have to locate our muster meeting point in person.
Your attention, please. The showing of the flight TV through your in-cabin TV will begin in 5 minutes. Please turn your TV on channel 5.
A look down reveals the terminal's boarding bridges. All passengers are on board, and the boarding bridges are being moved away from this large vessel. We're about to get underway and work our way to Government Cut. But we're not leaving until this Lufthansa 747-800 from Miami to Germany passes overhead. I love the aviation action out of Miami in this area. Down below, ground staff are working with ship crew on the lower decks to loosen and remove all of the lines that are being used to tie the ship to the dock. The lines are only on this side of the ship, as the other side of the ship is in open water in the channel. This is likely one of the most exciting parts of the journey, the very beginning, the moment when we are completely disconnected from the dock and can move under our own power. Our bow lines are off and we're about to move away from the pier. Thrusters on the bottom of the ship propel the entire vessel sideways in a northeastern direction towards the MacArthur Causeway on the other side of the ship so that we can get into a position in the center of the channel with our bow headed in the same direction that it's headed now, southeast toward the Atlantic Ocean. thrusters have successfully moved us away from the dock, and now it's time to proceed forward. And as you can see from the ships down there, we are not the only ship with this departure time. It's 5 p.m., and it's a typical time for ships to start their journey to sea. By the time the sun's down, the entire port will be free of these large ships as docks await the arrival of the inbound cruises tomorrow morning. For now, we join the conga line of departing cruises from Miami. Well, this is pretty neat. Inside the cabin, there's a bridge camera, so I can see straight ahead, but I'm going to go outside the cabin to take a look at what's going on the other side of the ship. Alright, I'm taking the elevator upstairs because I want to see everything. As soon as I got outside, I immediately made my way to the port side of the ship because from up here, I can see the causeway which marks the other side of the channel, as well as the beautiful homes on the islands in Biscayne Bay. What a great view from up here. There's also some great protection from the wind as glass flanks all sides of the outdoor areas of the Yacht Club. We are, of course, at the front side of the ship where it can get windy. Now this is a commanding view, just like the captain sees from the bridge below us. We're pretty much going the same exact speed as the cars down there on the causeway. And now it's back to the starboard side of the ship so I can see the Norwegian Joy. And just beyond the Norwegian Joy is the very large Symphony of the Seas. As we look ahead, we can see the wide open sea after Government Cut, which is the channel up ahead between Miami Beach on the left and Fisher Island on the right. As we move along, we can see on the port side many recreational boats anchored in the bay, enjoying the beautiful South Florida weather. It's better than being stuck in the traffic on the causeway, but at least the car's passengers get a great view of our ship. We're approaching Government Cut, which was opened in 1905 and was made by the government, which is why it got the name Government Cut. And it's always nice to know where you're going. We'll eventually be headed in that direction. Once we leave the cut, the buoy system takes us to the left to the east-northeast. Since most ships have destinations to the south, it may seem contrary to turn to the left while in open water, but the left turn helps us avoid some shallow water directly ahead. In the meantime, I'm really enjoying the views on the left side of the ship. We're really close to land before we reach the sea. On the left side, we pass by Miami Beach Marina in Malloy Channel with its 400 boat slips and its prime location. What a place to do boating. As we continue along, the last area we pass by is the southern tip of Miami Beach at South Point Park. This is a beautiful park, and many people like to come here to look at the cruise ships pass by. This is just a beautiful part of Miami, and I'm enjoying the last-minute sights of land. We're in the middle of Government Cut, and Fisher Island is on the other side of the ship right now. Fisher Island is an exclusive island accessible only by ferry. Do you see the building by the water? That's actually a restaurant. Now, that's what I call dining with a view. But whether you're dining or just going for a walk in the park, the view is not going to disappoint at all. We're now approaching the end of Government Cut, and as we look ahead, we can see the cruise ship ahead of us following the buoy system to avoid shallow water. We'll be there in just a few minutes, but for now, it's time to take our last look at land before it disappears behind us. We're at the beaches of Miami Beach. I'm now looking forward, and from up here you can see the buoy system that we need to follow. You can see the path curving to the left. Well, it looks tight, but we're going to manage to keep the red buoys on our left and the green buoys on our right. Boaters know that when you return to a port, you follow the red right returning rule. So when you leave a port, you keep the red buoys on the left and the green buoys on the right. I'm going to speed up the next 6 minutes of following the buoy system out here. Keep an eye on the buoys and look at the ships ahead of us, how they turn to the right once they're clear of the buoys. Farewell, Miami. See you in a week. Now, at this point, all of the ships need to slow down because on board each of these ships is a local maritime pilot who's very familiar with the local waters, and the pilot needs to return back to land after assisting the ship's bridge crew with navigating out of Miami. You can see the pilot being picked up by a small boat on the side of this ship here, and in a moment, a small boat is going to come to our ship to pick up the pilot who helped us navigate Government Cut and the buoys. We're now slowing down to make it easier for the very small pilot boat to pull up alongside our massive cruise ship. And here it comes. This is a dangerous job as the waters are choppy and the maritime pilot must exit our ship through a doorway and walk onto the small pilot boat. Since there's a deck below us that protrudes out over the water, I was unable to see this risky procedure, but I might be better off not seeing it. With the waves and the motion of the boat, it's kind of scary to watch a person transition from our steady boat to one that's rocking and rolling in the water. But today's operation was met with success. Just a few minutes later, I saw the pilot boat leaving with the pilot on board, going back to Miami. We're speeding up and the wind is picking up, so I'm going to leave this top deck and head on down to my cabin. In my cabin, on the TV screen, there is a map that I can follow to see our position, our speed, and the wind. I'm going to be showing this to you a lot throughout my journey. For now, it's time to visit the Top Sail Lounge in the MSC Yacht Club, where hors d'oeuvres and drinks are abundant. Other than walking to my muster station, I haven't left the yacht club yet during my time on board since noon, and I'm loving it. The upper deck was so private and provided views on 3 sides of the ship, and the lounge is reserved just for members of the yacht club too. It's a great experience. I filled up on the hors d'oeuvres in the lounge because they were just delectable, but eventually I made my way up 1 level to the Yacht Club restaurant, a private dining area for yacht club guests only, overlooking the Top Sail Lounge. This is going to be a fine experience. Well, it's dinner time now here at the MSC Yacht Club. Yeah. One of the great things about being on a cruise ship in a restaurant that you don't have to pay extra for is that you can order whatever you like on the menu. And if you don't like it, you can order something else. And it's not going to cost you any extra. I tried several of the items on the menu, and I have to say, I like them all. What a great meal here at the MSC Yacht Club. This tiramisu, just look at it. It's gorgeous. Here's a good view of how the restaurant looks down into the Yacht Club lounge. Before I decided to check out the rest of the ship, I made a quick visit to my cabin to find the bed made up with a piece of chocolate on it. But before I sleep, I'm going to explore some of the ship here on my first night. The ship has a New York City theme, and nowhere is the New York City theme more evident than in this section. The Statue of Liberty, skyscrapers, and New York City landmarks are going to be with me for this entire Caribbean cruise. While for me, New York City is nothing new, I like the style. The interior of this ship is absolutely impressive. This multi-story piece of art celebrates the beauty and mystery of the marine world, quite appropriate for a ship at sea. I especially like the central atrium, an area of entertainment, social gatherings, and lots of fun. Here's a quick peek at the Tribeca restaurant, named after the Tribeca neighborhood of New York City. If you're interested in shopping, there is no shortage of diverse stores on this ship. A full shopping area caters to all interests. Chocolate lovers can indulge in an entire Venki chocolate store. That chocolate that I showed you earlier on the bed was a Venki chocolate. Venki was founded in Torino, Italy in 1878. This is fine chocolate, and you can find it all throughout the world, but I'm fortunate to have it at my fingertips here in its own lounge on the ship. And after shopping, it was back to New York City. The ship has a small replica of Times Square. It's a New Year's Eve celebration every night on the MSC Seashore. What a concept! Welcome to the jungle. The ship even has its own jungle pool area. There's so much to do here. What a diverse set of options. This is a completely unexpected part of the ship, totally unlike other areas. Well, it's time to call it a night. I'll leave you with the scale replica of the ship so you can get an idea of how massive it is. Launched in 2020, she's 1,112 feet long and 135 feet wide. Her highest point is 243 feet, and the ship can accommodate just under 6,000 passengers. For now, it's back to my room to check out the map to see how we're headed towards the south. That's where the Caribbean is. It's time for sleep, and I'm going to end this video here, but this is just part one. There is a lot more to come. In my next video, I'm going to take you to our first port of call, Ocean Cay, MSC's Marine Reserve, a private island for the cruise line in the Bahamas. It's a short distance to get there, and once the sun rises, we'll be in paradise. So stay tuned for my next video, where the MSC Seashore will bring you and me to the Bahamas.